Welcome to this presentation about zinc. Credit for the discovery of this trace mineral is given to the German chemist Andreas Marggraf. It was identified as an element in 1746, even though it was known by the ancient Greeks. Zinc is found in cells throughout the body, aiding in the structure of the cell membranes. Zinc also aids in regulation of cell development and growth. Enzymes depend on zinc for catabolizing chemical reactions. Zinc is important in protein metabolism and synthesis. Proteins stabilized by zinc are involved in transcription of DNA. Zinc influences the release of hormones. In the case of insulin, it helps with glucose uptake. It is important in digestion. Zinc is released from the food eaten and absorbed in the small intestine, where it aids in digestion and promotes a healthy gut. Zinc maintains a strong immune system. It helps fight off invading bacteria and viruses by being involved in the development and function of neutrophils, macrophages, natural killer cells, as well as B and T cells' ability to respond to pathogens. So, since the pathogens also need zinc to work, the body's defenses need to be able to take that zinc from those invading microbes. It helps wounds heal. Zinc regulates all the steps that the body takes to heal. Zinc is also important for proper sense of smell and taste. Zinc cannot be stored and must be ingested daily for optimal health. The recommended daily allowance amounts are broken down into categories and amounts as follows. Infants 7 to 12 months, 3 milligrams. Children 1 to 3 years, also 3 milligrams. Children 4 to 8 years old, 5 milligrams. Kids 9 through 13, 8 milligrams. Teenagers 14 through 18, 9 to 11 milligrams. The RDA for adults is reported as a range of 8 to 11 milligrams. The amount reported for pregnant women is 11 to 12 milligrams. Note that there is no RDA listed for infants 0 to 6 months. However, the adequate intake amount is listed as 2 milligrams. Because of the roles of zinc being important, a deficiency can cause a myriad of problems. The most commonly reported of these is related to growth and development. Zinc is vital for the pregnant mother as well as her fetus, and once the baby is born, it continues to be very important. There is still brain and organ development continuing after birth. It's considered important to monitor the baby during those first 1,000 days. A deficiency, therefore, shows in slow growth or lack of brain development. In adolescence, a deficiency can cause delayed sexual development. In men, it can cause impotence. Older adults, older than 60 years, develop deficiencies perhaps due to diet choices or not having enough food. Low zinc also contributes to susceptibility to pneumonia because of reduced immunity. Abnormal copper and zinc may affect Alzheimer's disease, as the levels in patients are much lower than healthy older people. Zinc's importance in immunity becomes apparent when a zinc-deficient person succumbs to infections and viruses more readily, or he may experience skin abnormalities, or may experience long healing times of wounds. Some other populations that are at risk of a zinc deficiency are as follows. GI surgery patients. For instance, those that have had bariatric surgery, because zinc absorption is decreased. People suffering from digestive disorders such as ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, because the amount of zinc absorbed by the body is decreased and the amount lost in urine is increased. Diabetes patients, because zinc is lost when it is excreted in the urine. This is a problem because zinc is needed to aid insulin with glucose uptake. Vegans are at risk. Eating seeds, nuts, and grains are healthy and contain zinc, but they also contain phytates that prohibit zinc absorption. Also, not eating meat or drinking milk, which are good sources of zinc, compounds the risk. Alcoholics are another group at risk for a deficiency. Alcohol decreases absorption of zinc and increases the amount lost in urine. They also typically have limited diet that exacerbates the problem. Sickle cell disease patients may possibly be deficient because the zinc concentration in the plasma is low. Age-related macular degeneration sufferers are at risk because the lack of zinc progresses the disease. Note that high concentrations of zinc are at the part of the retina where AMD occurs, but that zinc concentration declines with age. The last group to mention are those who inherit a disorder called acrodermatitis enteropathica, impaired zinc absorption. Note that zinc deficiency is rare in the United States. When diagnosed, zinc deficiency is usually attributed to not getting enough in the diet, or if the intake is adequate, then the zinc is not properly absorbed. It could also result from the body excreting it. For those people with certain medical conditions, such as the Crohn's disease or diabetes, they may be deficient because they need more than a healthy person. How would one recognize deficiency? Zinc status is difficult to figure out since zinc is found throughout the body. The signs and symptoms are nonspecific and can be associated with other health conditions. A medical exam will be needed to find out if zinc deficiency is the cause. The practitioner will have blood tested. Low plasma or serum levels are common indicators that are used to evaluate if there is a deficiency. Once the indication of deficiency is reported, then the signs and symptoms would verify the deficiency. Signs and symptoms are failure to grow or slow growth, loss of appetite, weight loss, delayed healing of wounds, susceptibility to viruses and infections, and decreased ability to taste or smell. Severe deficiency symptoms include hair loss, diarrhea, delayed sexual maturation, impotence or hypogonadism in males, and eye and skin lesions. A tolerable upper intake level is set at 40 milligrams daily for adults. Intake of 150 to 400 milligrams daily lowered copper status and altered iron function. 50 to 150 milligrams daily produces nausea. 220 to 450 milligrams daily induces vomiting. Zinc toxicity can either be acute or chronic. Signs and symptoms associated with acute toxicity are nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, and headaches. It has been reported that acute toxicity has resulted from galvanized containers containing zinc contaminating the food stored in them. Chronic toxicity results in low copper levels, lower immunity, and low levels of HDL cholesterol. Here is a list of 10 food sources of zinc, beginning with number 1 having the highest zinc content and continuing in descending order. Zinc's medium oysters have the most at 32 milligrams, Alaskan king crab 6.5, ground beef 5.3, pork and baked beans both have 2.9, chicken thigh 2.4, pumpkin seeds have 2.2, cashews and Swiss cheese 1.2 milligrams, and last kidney beans having 0.9 milligrams of zinc. Some things to note about the food sources. Seafood, red meat, poultry, beans, and nuts are listed here, yet whole grains, fortified breakfast cereals, and milk are also good sources of zinc. Note that phytates found in whole grain breads, cereals, legumes, and some other foods prevent zinc from being absorbed. And also note that meat, eggs, and seafood promote zinc being absorbed because of the presence of sulfur-containing amino acids, as well as the lack of phytates. Note that the FDA does not require that zinc be listed on food labels unless it was added, meaning fortified. Food sources are the optimal source for zinc, yet supplements are sold over the counter. Supplements can interact and interfere with medicines. Taken with some antibiotics such as Cipro, the supplement reduces both the amounts of zinc and the antibiotic that the body absorbs. Taken with pellicinamide, such as cupramine, which is used for rheumatoid arthritis, reduces the absorption of the medication. Taken with diuretics, such as hygrotin, it causes zinc loss in the urine. Zinc supplements are used to treat some of the medical conditions discussed during the zinc deficiency slides under the direction and supervision of a qualified practitioner. Zinc lozenges and syrup are sold as dietary supplements or as homeopathic medications. Zinc may prevent the common cold virus from growing as well as suppressing inflammation. When the zinc remains on the throat or in the nose, and when taken at the first onset of cold symptoms. Some studies did not conclude positively about supplements and homeopathic medicines taken for the common cold. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare professional. Thank you for viewing this presentation. I hope you have found it informative.